Welcome to the Authority Journey podcast with Catherine Aragon, award-winning marketer, strategist, 8-times author, coach, and founder of KA Media. Catherine takes you on the journey of moving from being an expert to becoming a legacy leader in your field. Join us each week as she explores the authority journey and what it takes to influence, lead, and succeed.
Welcome to the Authority Journey podcast. Achieving your most audacious goals doesn't happen by accident. Explore the authority journey and what it takes to influence, lead, and succeed. My name is Catherine Aragon, and I'm your host for today's episode, Goal Setting. What do you want? And this is a much bigger question than you probably think about. What do you want? Well, we basically want to be happy. We want enough money to be comfortable, the common things. I want a better job, whatever that might be. But interestingly, when we are pressed to articulate what we want, we many times don't know what it is. And guess what? You will never reach your goal if you don't know what you want. I was doing a webinar recently, and I was trying to talk about content strategy. So one of the slides I created was, I was trying to depict what does the average content strategy look like. And I finally settled on a picture. It looks like a busy street in New York or Hong Kong, some giant city with throbs of people. And you saw this mass of people. There was no standing room in the middle of the street. It was fuzzy in the front and just kind of bright, dark, darkness, but bright lights shining. And my interpretation of this picture was this. It's out of focus, super busy, and it's not going anywhere. Honestly, the more I think about that, the more I realize that's what most of our lives look like. And the reason is we don't know what we want. We are letting life happen. And the whole thing about the authority journey is you decide where you want to go, and then you put into action the steps. You start taking the steps you need to take to get there. Take action, you take the steps, you make things happen, but you can't do that if you don't know where you're going. If you're in the middle of a fuzzy crowd and it feels like you're just busy, but not getting anywhere, your goals are not clear enough. So let's talk about that. Let's explore what it takes to clarify your goals. Interestingly, we may think we know what we want, but the goals that we have for ourselves are in relationship to our context at the moment. So for instance, if you are in a job where a particular value is, you're in a job where you have to do XYZ in order to get a promotion. Your goal is XYZ because you want that promotion. You move to another job, and now it's ABC to get the promotion or to get the reward that you're looking for. So what becomes the focus there? The goal is ABC. Did you set any of those goals for yourself? And did you even really want the promotion, or was that just the next step of where you were, of your current status quo? Interestingly, I recently left my job, and it was just a short-term step into corporate America. I do that periodically because the offer feels good and I like it. And in this case, I was I was contacted on the last day of my cancer treatment, and it was like, yeah, the idea of paid time off, I'm for that. So I took this job and I loved it. I did, but it was time to go. And so I came out of that job to focus on my agency again and I had never shut it down, but it was time to rev it up, right? I was talking with someone and he asked me point blank, ideally, your perfect picture of what your agency, what your business will look like, what is that? And I hesitated because I realized I didn't have an answer. Why is that? Because all of my goals had, for the last year or more, had been wrapped around my previous circumstance. My status quo had changed. Therefore, I needed to upgrade my goals. Basically, the same context didn't exist. Now, my options were wide open. I had the reins. I could go anywhere I wanted to go. Now, this is the place we all need to be, even when we are in our status quo. We forget that we hold the reins to our own life, that we get to call the shots in our life, and we get to take whatever step is right for us in reaching our ultimate goal. The authority journey is yours. Nobody dictates it for you. It's up to you to decide what your goal is and what your benchmarks are for getting there. What are the steps you need to take? For me, periodically I'll take a job because I feel like it's the right, and for me it kind of feels like a client situation, but it's the right client for the moment. It's the right job or task or whatever for that moment. And many times it's because it's an opportunity to move into another industry. It's an opportunity to expand my network or expand my skill set. But that skill set comes with me. I don't leave it at the job. As a result of, you put all the different jobs I've done together, and I've got some terrific skills that you wouldn't expect a writer or a marketer or a content writer or a copywriter to have. Perhaps I have some skills that are way outside that particular scope, just because of some different jobs or activities that I've done throughout the years. It's the same for you. You have a huge collection of experiences that make you unique. And at any given moment, you could shift gears, change your status quo, and go after something else based on your experiences, your desires, what you ultimately want to achieve. The trick is, we many times forget that. And we live in this moment of the winds just are knocking us around. It's like a leaf out on the sidewalk, and a wind picks it up and blows it here. And then another gust picks it up and blows it there. Are you letting the wind of life just knock you around and tell you where you're going to go? No, you need to be conscious about making those decisions. And every now and then you will radically change gears. There will be a shift, in which case what was status quo, what was your circumstance, no longer exists. Now, all the options are open to you again. What do you want? That's a hard question. If you think about it, you weren't thinking about what you wanted just 5 minutes ago, and all of a sudden, you can pick anything you want. What will you build? That's an important question. At first, it may be like that picture that I described, out of focus, very, very busy. You've been doing a lot of busy work, perhaps. And now all of that has slowed down, and it's time to get the picture into focus. It's time to make sure that you're not just treading water, a lot of activity to stay still. You need to get things into focus so you can start making real steps towards a destination. And I want to share with you today 7 steps to make sure you can do that and get the clarity you need. Number 1, take some time. Be aware that there's nothing wrong with you, that when somebody says what you really want, that you don't have an answer. It did surprise me that I didn't have an answer. A little bit, because I always think I know what I want. But, I think we many of us feel that way. We think we know what we want. But like I said, when you open all the doors and say anything is possible, what direction will you go? You might not know right away. You might need to sleep on it. You might need to spend some time thinking about all your different options. What even are the options? And that's part of what you need to explore, because you aren't limited by your past. Your future can be anything. So think about that. Think about all the different doors you could throw open. I have a framework that I call Foundations and Doors. And I have used this framework for, more than a decade in coaching and in raising my children and actually in making decisions myself. The idea is this. You build a foundation for yourself right where you're at. And that foundation is your current skill level and what is open to you right now. But above you is another level. It's like another, it's like a multi-storied building. So you're at the ground level, and there are stairs or doors that open up into a stairwell that can take you to the next level. But the next level, if you think about it, it's not one option. You could go over to the left, you could go in front of you, you could go to the right, and you need to decide which direction you're going to go. So ideally, you want multiple doors available to you so you can go to whichever next level will get you to where you want to go. Now, in order for this to work, you have to have perfect clarity about where you want to end up. So if where you want to end up is straight in front of you, you want a door that opens up in front of you. If where you want to go is to your right or to your left, you want a door that leads very quickly. You want a shortcut. You don't want to amble. You want a direct door. So my thing is always open as many doors as I can going in the direction I want to go. Then I have my pick. I have my options available to me, and I can move to the next level, my skill level, my experience level. And then at that next level, I start building that into a strong foundation. I put in my hours, I build my skills. Now I'm ready to move up again to the next level. Well, I look around, I start building doors. Which direction am I going to go? If it's still straight ahead, I want multiple doors in that direction. Whichever direction I'm going, I need multiple doors. You see how this goes. You always are building a foundation and moving and creating opportunities for yourself so you can move to the next level. And with each footstep forward, with each new foundation, you're closer to your ultimate goal. That is essentially how the authority journey works. It is an iteration of building a foundation and opening doors for yourself. But it does take time sometimes. First of all, to know which direction you wanted to go. Did you want to go forward? Or are you shifting gears and going sideways? Do you need to open more doors, or is there a door already in front of you? Sometimes you just need to stop and take your time to assess what's around you, what's going on. Who do you know? What is a current need that maybe didn't exist before the pandemic? Think about how life has changed. Life will continue to change as you age. So don't let changes around you, upsets to your status quo, get in the way. Just think about what you want and what's possible, and take the time to assess your situation. That's number one, take your time. Number two, brainstorm every possibility. This is looking for the doors. At this point, you want to look around you and see where the connections are that you could tap into. Who are the people that are available to you? What new skill do you have that you could leverage? What opportunity has come up that didn't used to exist? Brainstorm every possibility, good or bad. Never judge an idea before you give it actual thought. So brainstorming is a white hat activity. You want as many ideas as possible. Then, number three, visualize your best day. This one, I think, is the one I'm least likely to do because it feels so abstract, but it helps bring clarity. Because if your best day does not involve reading a book, you certainly don't want to open a door that requires you to read every single day. Or if you hate numbers, don't open a door where you're going to have to use a lot of numbers. You need to visualize your best day. How does it feel? How do you spend your time? What are you doing? What's the pace you're working? Now, you can use this information to help you weed out some of those brainstorm ideas you came up with. Some of them won't fit your ideal day, which means you need to shut those doors. That's not a good possibility for you. Why would you pursue something you don't even like? Number one, take your time. Number two, brainstorm every possibility. Number three, visualize your best day. Number four, talk out your ideas. As you start whittling down your list, coming up with your best ideas, it can help to talk about them with someone who knows you well, someone who understands your goals, and maybe help you see things that you weren't able to see yourself. You wanted to visualize your best day. And perhaps you didn't see that there is actually a door in front of you that fits that picture. You didn't see it, but someone else might see it. I was talking with someone one time who was shifting gears very dramatically, and he was like, no, I'm a one-horse pony. That was it. And I was like, I don't buy that. There are so many skills, so many talents packed into the package that is you. I don't buy that one bit. But he couldn't see that. I could see it. There are so many moments like that where talking to somebody else will bring more clarity than just pondering yourself. And don't worry about, again, looking like navel-gazing or something like that. There are so many moments when we need to look hard at ourselves, and we aren't being selfish, we aren't being obsessive. We seriously are asking questions and exploring options. So never worry about that being too much. You don't want to get stuck in that moment, but you need to do it. So again, take time, brainstorm, visualize, talk. Next, try new things. A whole lot of my knowledge about myself comes from my growing up years when I tried everything. I experimented with, cooking, hiking, sewing, and all these are crafty kind of things, right? But they helped me know myself better. I took advanced courses in science and math as well as college-level English when I was in high school. Well, I figured out that I'm a natural at the English. I'm good at math and science, but it didn't, it just wasn't quite as enjoyable. And again, why spend time doing something that's not quite as enjoyable? So you have to try things. You have to see how they fit, see how they feel. And don't be afraid to try things that you've never tried before. You may think you hate numbers, but what if you tried something and realized, oh, wow, I really do like this? For me, copywriting was that. I never dreamed that I would enjoy writing for business as much as I do, because I thought I loved fiction. Therefore, I must love to write fiction. Turns out, I really enjoy writing for business. I like the strategy. I like seeing all the puzzle pieces come together in the way they do. I like aiming for real results. And that was something I would never have dreamed if I hadn't tried it. So try new things. Next, test the waters. You're going to have to try that next new thing and be okay with it being a failure. In my opinion, I've had people ask me, tell me about a time that you failed. And my answer is always, I've never failed, which they don't understand at first. The truth is, you've probably never truly failed. Not truly. Failure is when you fall flat on your face and there is no getting up. There's no lesson learned and there is no moving forward. Failure is a full stop. We have never truly experienced a full stop. Failure is the end. But many times I end something because I didn't like it. That wasn't a failure. Many times I do make a big mistake, but I get myself up, I dust myself off, I figure out what I did wrong, and I keep moving forward. That's not a failure. That was a bump in the road. So rethink your feelings about failure, because that could be holding you back from testing the waters. You need to try new things. You need to actually step into a role that you're uncomfortable with and see how it fits. You may discover that you hate it, but you may discover that you love it and you thrive there. And then finally, listen to your gut. Many times there is a wisdom that is deep within you, and if you will tune out the chatter in your head, you will hear the truth about what you like and what you don't like. But you have to be willing to listen to your gut. How do you feel about this thing? How does it feel in your body to be doing this thing? Don't deprive your body of just being relaxed and at peace. That sounds so new agey. But the truth of the matter is, there's a lot of wisdom deep inside of you that we've covered up with all the rules and regulations of everyday life, and we don't listen to ourselves. And you need to. So let's review. These are 7 steps, actually. It's not ways, it's 7 steps that you can get to know what you want. It's a way of getting to know yourself, actually, and get clarity on where you're headed. so you can set the right goals for yourself. Number 1, take time. Don't rush it. Number 2, brainstorm every possibility. Number 3, visualize your best day. 4, talk out your ideas. 5, try new things. 6, test the waters. And 7, listen to your gut. You do need to know where you're headed if you're going to get there, but in order to do that, you may need to get some clarity. So don't be afraid to take your time, to spend some time with yourself, figuring out what you want to do, and then set appropriate goals that will help you get there. Don't set a goal that takes you in another direction. If what you want is straight in front of you, open the doors that are right in front of you. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the Authority Journey podcast and visit CatherineAragon.com, where you can get more goodness by subscribing. Thanks so much. Stay awesome.